Welcome to the 15th video in the series, The Character of the Communist Mode Production According to Marx and Engels. Today we'll be going over the 1879 interview with Karl Marx by the Chicago Tribune. And to be clear here, the Chicago Tribune was a quite right-wing newspaper at the time, and it is surprising that Marx was willing to do this interview, but he did. I do recommend taking a reading of the surrounding situation that had to do with this interview. But moving forward, I want to be clear that this could have gone potentially in the Dictatorship of the Proletariat series, or even the Foundations of Communist Organizing series, but I decided that it perhaps fit best in the Communist Mode Production series. I've subtitled this Social Transformation Takes Time, Education, and Political Power. In 1871, the International Society published general rules from the General Council, establishing that the emancipation of the working class could only be carried out by the working classes themselves in all means, not merely in the form of class privileges and monopolies, but equal rights and duties, and the abolition of all class rule, the distinction between reformist social democracy, wherein all power is still held by a ruling class, which grants privileges but holds all the duties, and the whole of society governing itself. This class struggle can only be international, and all workers' movements must be interconnected, and all members must be workers. It was the Socialist reunion at Gotha, Germany, in May 1875. There was an attempt to give a clear and concise exposition on socialism. This was expressed in several points. This included universal, direct, and secret suffrage for all elections, municipal and state, while at the same time granting the ability of the whole of the people to direct legislation, which includes the right of initiating proposals and vetoing. War and peace are to be put to direct popular vote, while the standing army is to be abolished and replaced by universal obligation to militia duty, though without draft. Legal remedies are to be made free for all, both accused and accuser, with proceedings conducted by the people by the way of administration of justice being democratized, rather than being held by a professional judiciary or bureaucratic elite. Rather, legal proceedings are to be carried out either directly or through elected representatives with lay judges, jury trials, people's tribunals, and community-based mediation and arbitration. We'll talk more about this in the Dictatorship of the Proletariat series. In addition, society provides free, general, and obligatory education, while granting absolute freedom of science and religion, with the understanding that religion is a private matter. Religion itself will disappear through education in all walks of life, which is improved as social development is carried out, and any attempt to stamp it out through violence will only result in failure at best. Child labor is to be completely abolished as well. And also, again, this is an interview with a right-wing newspaper, and Marx was somewhat short with his answers. There's more to the abolition of religion. It involves removing the material bases for religion to be something that drives people to taking it up, whether that be religion in the traditional sense of a theological sort of tradition focusing on a god, or the religion of capital with commodity fetishism. Continuing. The program also involves the abolition of indirect taxes, employing instead a single direct progressive income tax. In addition, the working class has absolute freedom to organize and associate in any matter, while there are also clear definitions on the length of the working day, with labor regulations being established and enforced by representatives in the workplace chosen by the laborers. Prison labor is remunerated the same as all other labor. This societal change will take time, with the transformation of the means of production into common property requiring a transitory state, which increases the speed at which the transformation is carried out through education and forcible development of social relations. This is where communist organizations come in. having the political education to understand how to carry out the transitory period in a timely and less risky manner, so that it does not collapse back into capitalism, while also maintaining absolute internationalist position. The aims of this program, beyond granting clarity of immediate points which could be carried out in materiality within the transitory period with the aim of dismantling the basis of capitalist class power and redistributing social power and resources to the proletariat, was to give aid to communists to understand the tasks that would need to be carried out could only be done through revolutionary struggle, not reformism. The emancipation of the working class is the work of the working class alone, and this work must be done internationally. And that is the end of my summary of Marx's interview with the Chicago Tribune. As usual, if you would like to go over the quotations that I derived the summary from, then please feel free to go into the description below and open up the Google Doc. And if you'd like to discuss any more of this, ask any questions, give your own input, feel free to most particularly join the United Marxist Pact Discord server, which is also linked in the description. Tomorrow we'll be going over my summary of the 1884 piece by Engels, Origin of the Family, Private Property and the State, and we will be going over Chapter 2, the Family, and only sections 1, 2, and 4. Thank you for joining me for today's topical summary, and I hope to see you tomorrow.